Okay, hello and welcome back to our next episode of Let's Play Project Zomboid Build 41.56 West Point's map. Um, on the way back, it was generally uneventful. I did end up killing 3 zombies. One of them in particular was carrying a shotgun, but unfortunately, that zombie in particular was not carrying any ammo with their actual shotgun itself. But I will take it nonetheless because I want to be able to repair my items. Now I'm going to start my car and I'm going to let it run a little bit, and because I know that I am headed back to the base and I'm just going to be sitting down on the floor anyway, I will grab everything on these zombies that I've already killed in the past for 2 main reasons. The first reason being I want to be able to grab all of this so that I can have something to burn later on when we complete the idea of grabbing ourselves a antique oven if we can find one. And the other reason is I want these zombies to rot a lot faster. And unfortunately, the way that the game works is it tends to load out everything that is currently inside the map, including the dead zombies. The more details that you have on the map, like dead zombies on the floor, the heavier of a burden it will be on your actual computer. So it's just about acting a little bit more like a sociopath, but at the same time making things a lot more efficient for your operations and gaming experience if you don't have a very good gaming rig setup like most people have. Mine in particular is on an average setup anyway, so it does tend to slow it down based on experience. Also from experience in playing multiplayer on build 40, it is something that they set for these zombie corpses to rot faster, and that way it's less of a burden for your servers to play in. So I'm going to make a large amount of noise in the motel area because I don't like the idea of all the zombies hanging out and conglomerating, or gathering together rather, in front of the railroad side. And I want to be able to attract them there. And let's turn on the headlights. It is only 1 a.m. in the morning because of the whole uh, that positive trait of not needing to sleep very much. If you do want to make sure that your character doesn't need to sleep most of the entire gaming experience, what you might want to use is the security guard, because they have the night owl trait. um, Having the night owl trait plus the wakeful trait basically means that you're pretty much not going to need to sleep the whole time. um, Couple that with the coffee and the tea, you're gonna be good. I am being chased by some zombies and I don't like the idea of being encumbered, so I'll just drop everything in a rail behind me and take care of these guys, and we'll come back when I'm pretty much done with this immediate zombie threat. Look, from the looks of things, I might actually need to use a campfire. So I'll probably be back in roughly about 2 hours, and we will use the campfire trick yet again to wipe out the greater zombie population. Alright, so a couple of zombies later, 30 zombies actually. I have killed all of them in my immediate area. Let's grab everything out from the ground. Make sure that I'm not switched onto my duffel bag. Get that forward just a fair bit. And transfer all of this. Grab everything from... well, there aren't any more corpses from these guys, except for the one guy that I killed much earlier. And strip them all completely naked onto the floor. And the advantage of doing this is it's actually quite easy and mindless work, wherein you don't have to immediately look for a set of useful items or useful loot. And just basically just press loot all and then transfer it all over to your base and you will be perfectly fine. Although in hindsight, maybe I should have parked a little bit closer. Yeah, I really should have. I'll transfer this onto the crates so that I can skip into the actual base. Drop this off, fast forward. There you go. And then let's move the car. We really gotta move the car. Now keep in mind, although you're not running, if you're gonna be doing a lot of carpentry, it does tend to exhaust your character a lot faster because it is physical labor after all. So, hopefully not be such a terrible driver and drive without headlights. And let's continue on with our base building side of things. After we do a little bit of an adjustment, I like to back up into my base like so, mainly because if I am going to leave or I need to make an emergency run, I can just simply start the car and hold forward or W. Okay, let's walk around. And there were apparently some zombies on the floor. So that's interesting. We'll grab all of your stuff and the remaining stuff onto the back of this car. And I know I am going to have a fair amount of fuel. It will reduce the need for me to keep going in and out of my base, even if it's just for any small thing, because the mega base won't necessarily be a permanent way to never exit the mega base, but it will reduce your risk of stepping outside. Let's knock this guy out. I've learned my lesson and always pay attention to while that moment in between looting sessions and grab you and rob you blind completely. Aha. Okay, and we will pick this up. Switch over. And if you're curious on how to cycle through items, I may not have talked about this. All you have to do is tap R to cycle through objects. It's a very small tooltip and most people tend to miss it. At least I did for a while. So I did notice that we had some wood planks on the floor. It'll be quite useful. And we will grab those as well. Let's look for it right now. Wood planks, where are you? I'm recording this and I know I saw you for sure. You know what, let's grab some bread while we're doing our little search, and there it is. And extend our base just a little bit more before we go questing on something very important, which is the entire idea of getting ourselves a nice shovel. The point of the shovel is I kind of want to go in between. The reason why I'm building out my ground floor so far and so expansive in space over the water is I want to be able to do some farming. And in order for us to do that, we need a sack, a shovel, your little farm seeds, whichever you can find, and we need to make ourselves some actual plots of land, and I want to make as much as I can because farming is going to take a fair amount of days. So before we leave, let's grab more than one loaf of bread, grab some cake, anything that's generally ready to eat, and maybe about 1 or 2 oranges, because that sounds kind of fun, and our slices of pie. Oops, I may have not have picked that up actually at all. Try again. Grab some mayonnaise. And I don't necessarily want to use the whole ham. That seems like a waste. And anything else for our immediate food consumption? We'll take the slices of pie. Okay, and then we'll place back our actual microwave on the floor. And I know we're encumbered. That's okay. Uh, we're gonna be fine. Ooh, that's a weird glitch. Could not fit. So let's go and go on our little quest of looking for a shovel. Now, if you notice, I moved back and forth from our base, and I still haven't dropped off the industrial freezer. Mainly because I don't want to drop it off. It will start consuming electricity, and there's no way for me to manually turn off the refrigerator. So in the meantime, I'll just keep it on my car. It's alright. It does take a small amount of space, and I'm generally fine with that. But we'll continue with our looting exercises, and probably stripping all of these zombies of all of their properties as we go along. And I'll skip forward a little bit until we get to the West Point suburbs again. I'll see you guys in a bit. I did purposefully leave a plank on my person because I want to be able to craft myself a little bit of a spear. I don't quite feel as comfortable with not having something on my back, and at the same time having something that I can immediately use as a weapon. Just to be absolutely safe, because we are quite far into the middle of the game, and it would be a shame to die because we were not prepared. So this house is quite interesting. It has a fair amount of barricades, and because I have the right carpentry tools, what I can do is I can actually try to remove these barricades by pressing on barricade. There is a good chance for you to be able to recover said plank. It's not always guaranteed, at least last I checked. So let's give it a sample by removing that particular barricade. And do we get ourselves a fresh plank? Yes, we do. Now let's test this again. I'm actually not sure. A little bit of trial and error because we have a ×8 multiplier. It's 1292. Let's see if this will increase our carpentry skills. 1292. Wow, it does remove the plank and give us a fair amount of experience. So let's remove that barricade and continue. Will get us that much closer to level 6. Learn something new every day, I guess. Alright. And see if we can climb through this window. Nope. Oh no, it was already removed. So let's remove the broken glass. Thankfully, I didn't press and hold E right then and there. I'm through. And in the meantime, close the door behind us. Drop the plank. And equip the spear on our hands. Everything else seems barricaded, so let's try to be a little bit cautious. Even if we know that there are no zombies coming in from the outside because we are well barricaded, sometimes there are zombies that come out inside the house. So before we go on to all the looting, let's do a quick surrounding check right around here. Anything here? Oh, this window was completely open. Oh, I think this was my handiwork and I may have just forgotten about it. Okay. Okay. You know what? Leather gloves, protection for your hands. I will take it. And then check the bathroom. There you go. Always, always, always be careful. Aha. And wow, you had a fair amount of items. Let's loot all of you. All of your stuff. Take all the things. And whoa, this is quite useful. All of these items are quite useful. It's interesting that they kept some canned food inside the bathroom. Maybe they planned ahead. Grab all of this on the second floor, and I am immediately going to go down to the first floor anyway. Drop it all off. Grab all of this. Leather jacket seems nice. And let's favorite a couple of things, right? I don't want to drop my spear. I don't mind dropping everything else, and we can pick those up again later. That's perfectly fine. But I do want to make sure that I don't drop my food, because by now it's already defrosted. And tuna is perfectly fine for me to drop. I don't care about that. Mayonnaise, because it spoils, and your canned soup, because that spoils, and finally our pie and remoulade, which will eventually make us unhappy if we keep eating that. Drop that all onto the floor. Because I'm going to do something that's kind of counterintuitive. We're going to remove all of the barricades. Because I want that XP. That sweet, sweet free experience points without the use of a lot of materials. So let's exit outside and start unbarricading this door and everything else that's inside, or outside rather, the house. So quick confirmation, 1349 comes to, it's not a lot, but I'll take it. 1352, 54, okay. You know what? It doesn't seem like a lot, but I still appreciate it. Those 3 planks. The reason why I wanted to get those 3 planks immediately is now I can actually make another campfire kit in every single area that I will frequent. It's always safer to have some extra precautions. Now I do realize I don't have any more ripped sheets, so let's of course find whatever clothing we can use. Baggy jeans doesn't seem like there, but we can use ourselves a ripped clothing setup. Alright, and now we can make ourselves a campfire kit. Perfect. Food wise, health wise, we're all Lucy. You are doing quite well. Hold on, is that a plank on the floor? Yeah, it is. I seem to be leaving a mess everywhere. Let's put this right here in the middle so it's easier for me to spot in the future. And if you notice, there is a rather disconcertingly large group over there. So let's go and fight them. Reason why I want to choose to fight them is because I want to grab and use all of the spears that I have so far. Put this in both hands. And slowly, and this is the first time actually that we are going to be using a discrete method of fighting. We'll attract them from a distance one by one and deal with these zombies in small groups rather than one large cluster. Have you, push you on the ground. Come on, one hit. Come on. Here we go. One hit. No? No luck? There you go. And stab you. There's the broken spear. We will drop you right here, because I'm not going to be moving that anymore. Put that in both hands and we will unfavorite it. Reason why you want to unfavorite a crafted spear is once it breaks and it's still under your favorites, you won't be able to drop it. Let's get ready. 2 zombies at a time, 3 zombies at a time. Managing these zombies in a reasonable quantity. Much easier than dealing with 15 at the same time, right? Thankfully, that conspicuous trait will be used to our advantage. What we just have to do is repeat the process. It's generally more reliable than actually having to use a campfire kit all the time. And it's a lot faster. And I don't mind because I am quite armed with a decent set of weapons. Now this baseball bat's really useful for me later on. I like the idea of making myself a spiked baseball bat. Because a lot like the spear, it's a very renewable resource. So let's switch to the bat. Again, switch to the bat. There you go. And perform ourselves a little bit of combat. Ooh, there's that mild exhaustion right now. Fortunately, not that many left. And there's another. And somebody has a shotgun. Okay. Thankfully, I didn't have to burn you. And we can actually grab your shotgun and see if whether or not it has ammos. Yeah, it does. Unload you. And if anything, we'll head back to the base. Or our temporary holdout. And I do have a spare shotgun already. So for now, I'm just going to drop it inside the house. It's not quite useful to me yet. But I will like to have that little bit of extra oomph in terms of our resources. We are getting quite drowsy, and that's quite unfortunate, but thankfully we do have our TV, and my forgetfulness just didn't let me put it inside the end of that stairwell. So let's find ourselves another way to barricade that. One TV on that side. Hopefully I can grab something else that's heavy. No such luck, unfortunately. We are drowsy. It's tempting to just rest, but tempting to just go to sleep actually, but I want to be safe. I'm gonna barricade that properly. And as a short stopgap after we rest from our moderate exhaustion, fast forward a little bit. A good way to barricade that is actually this thing right here. Our small orange futon. It's not necessarily invincible, but it will block the way enough and make enough noise if a zombie is going to be attacking it. Let's put you down right there. And we will be able to get ourselves some good rest. It's a small bed there. I don't necessarily want to use that. The bigger the bed, the better, because it will give you more restful, a more restful experience rather. Go to sleep. By the way, it's a brand new day. Before I forget, I wanted to talk about this in the last episode, but I for some reason completely spaced out. I got a brand new subscriber. I think his name is Ogredu. Well, thanks for subscribing, man. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Much appreciated. And I'm glad that you could join us in our little adventure. So let's put this futon back down to the ground. And instead of charging outside, because I don't feel too comfortable in the rain, and I'm currently unarmed, let's refill our stuff. Make sure that we are well equipped with water. I did just eat after all, and that's perfectly great to help us with our calorie goals. That much closer. We are now on 78 kilograms. And let's close this door and start disassembling the bed. The carpentry wise, in terms of skills, with the XP boost, multiplier times 8, 1388, and 3 beds, 1596. Disassembling beds gives you experience points, something that's very useful information to know. So let's continue on with disassembling this area right here, and I know it's a little risky. I currently took out the barricade, but it's alright. Fast forward that, and because my current levels in carpentry are much higher, we're now dropping 4 wood planks on a single bed. And we'll grab the nails. And mainly because I have so many crafted spears. Oh, forgot to drop that. I was making myself tired for no reason. Drop that broken spear. And let's head on to killing this group of zombies, which has been whittled down to apparently just 2. Small amounts. You can manage them. Very easy to take care of. Now, if you knock them down, it's not always a guarantee, but you do deal a very high damage to the zombies when they're on the ground and you use the spear. So preferably, I do like to knock them down and handle them that way. And let's set ourselves up with another barricade on the 2nd floor, because this time around, although we don't have the back of our car and it is quite worn, we do just want to get to level 6 as soon as possible. Let's skip forward and we'll grind out everything here with our little bit of disassemble frenzy. But before we do that, always check the rooms before you do so. Alright, so I'll be back and let's see how many planks we can get this time around. Look at that. We are now already level 6 in terms of carpentry. Unfortunately, I did not have the actual foresight to increase your experience boost. So this forced me rather to grind out more than I needed to, but it actually comes to show it's not that hard to get into level 6. You just have to kind of plan ahead. Now all of these planks, I know it seems strange, but I will make all of these into actual spears for a few reasons. Number one, it's all very heavy, and when you turn a plank into a spear, it will lighten its overall weight. That's not the first reason. And the second reason is I now intend to grind out a different aspect of my skill set. And what we're going to be doing is we're now going to grind up our maintenance skills. Let's remove this from the ground, from our backpack. And let's drop our cleaver. And yeah, I think we have enough. Let's pick up this TV and drop it behind us, just so that we know we have a place to retreat to, if ever. And let's go zombie hunting. Anybody outside? No? No zombies to come out and play, unfortunately. So let's move around. And right now, because I have a fair amount of weight on me, it is quite dangerous and I am going to be less effective. But because I'm trying to grind up our maintenance skill, and as far as I know, there's no real natural boosters. You can't really read a book to boost that. The best way to do it is actually just to manually try and kill every single zombie that you could with a weapon. Fortunately, spears, readily available resource. And immediately, if you look, we are already hitting moderate exhaustion just from the little bit of effort. Now remember, we're here for one important reason, and we just need ourselves a actual shovel. A trowel would be more than good enough. And the way that we're going to find that is normally through the garages. Hence why we are going to go zombie hunting and check every single garage in this West Point suburb. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, skip through the grindy details for you guys, and start checking all of the other garages on the left side of the map while killing more zombies. Starting with that guy. So 2,861, and we'll see how far we can go with that. Ooh, we popped off. That was a level on our spear. More zombie kills. Oh, there you are. We're currently soaked, so let's try to grab some shelter in between. Take you down, and on top of you, drop the spear on top of you. Okay, yet another zombie kill. And take care of these two right here. Oh, come on. You know what? I'm just gonna walk away. Recalibrate. Put this in both of my hands. Drop the spear. And then we're ready to fight. Hello. Okay, so 2,872 zombies. We have wasted, or used rather, I think approximately 6 spears? No, 4 spears. And we are on extreme exhaustion just from killing that small amount of zombies. And it's a further testament on why it's so important to learn the fire strat if you want to clear the entire zombie population. So let's be aware. Thankfully, we've gotten to recover a little bit more. Come on. And you know what? I want to be a little bit safer this time around. And I do know it is getting quite late on my character. So let's drop you down. And check the second floor. Ooh, all doors are closed. So here's a little trick that I've learned from watching Private Lime or Flash. That's basically tap E twice, and that allows you to check in a very quick manner whether or not there's a zombie in a room. And just in case they get very aggressive and try to stab you, or try to bite you rather, just quickly double tap E and you will be safe, like that. And that small flash will let you see whether or not there's a zombie currently inside the room. Let's grab some rest. It has been quite exhausting for Lucille. Quite a fair bit of progress, but still no luck with a shovel. So I think so far this is a good time to cut this episode, and we'll fast forward and recover so that on the very next episode we are going to go for the great scavenger hunt of looking for a shovel. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. In terms of skills and weapon kills, we have 2,873, a fair amount of zombies killed, and we are seeing a massive reduction in terms of population. And in terms of our mega base, we are that much closer because we just popped off to level 6 and we haven't even made our way back. Alright, again, stay safe, and until next time, goodbye.